whatever you wind up doing is exactly what you should be doing.
And I have not behaved one single day of my life. Not one day of my life have I behaved, and I am fine.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people.
Whose car are we gonna take?
Thank you for joining us on the Nikki Medoro Show, and happy birthday, Grady. I just was looking quickly at the comments before I started the show. 53, you don't look a day over 52. Happy birthday, Grady, and thank you so much for spending a little bit of your birthday with the Nikki Medoro Show. And we have a big show coming up today. It's over. It's finally over. The Screen Actor Guild's SAG-AFTRA. The strike is apparently over. I'll get into some of the details in a moment. Now, I'm part of SAG-AFTRA, pardon me still, but it's a different category, so I'm not really impacted by this necessarily, but we get all of the updates. And God, I was so happy to read the news. Also, not as happy as Judy, though. Judy writes, "Good morning from Concord. I'm awake because I slept during the night for a change. I woke up cold, and now I've got the heater on and some fresh coffee. It's creme brulee flavored. That sounds delicious. I have my coffee here. Freezing my ass off, though. If you can't tell, I'm all bundled up. I was like, I'm wearing all these clothes, and I brought out my sweater that I always like to wear. It is getting cold, but I am subscribing to the belief that I think Kim's relative had said, not until Thanksgiving do you turn the heater on because it is too damn cold outside. And it's too expensive to pay for PG&E. I do have plans to bring Loretta Lynch back onto the show, just speaking of PG&E. I apologize right now. I am blanking on your name. Somebody sent me an email with a letter from PG&E that they were very confused about, so we will talk about that with Loretta. We'll bring her back on soon because she's always a wealth of knowledge regarding what's going on with our utilities. I did not watch the GOP debate. Did anybody in the comments watch it? I mean, I've watched many clips, and I'll have a couple of clips for you coming up. Apparently, NBC, Lester Holt, Kristen Welker, I forget the third person, they were getting a lot of praise from both Democrats and Republicans on the moderating of the debate. But yeah, it's not sitting well with everybody that was on that stage, including Vivek Ramaswamy. Yep, Grady, it is your birthday again. Happy birthday. I think Kim has joined the show. Good morning, my friend.
Hi. I was just thinking, looking at that. Woohoo! I love a little
there
birthday.
You go. There's
yeah, Grady.
Happy birthday,
Woohoo!
Grady. Yeah. Happy birthday. So glad. You know who else's birthday is tomorrow?
Who?
My Nugget. My Nugget is
Nugget.
turning 3 years old. How many people have birthday parties for their dogs? I got him. He went to the groomers yesterday, so he smells all nice and fresh. Although, I don't know. I think I need to find another groomer. I don't think he likes his groomer very much. But yeah, so he's nice and clean and fluffy. He looks like a bear because he's all fluffy. And so I went to the store and I got him a bone for his birthday tomorrow. So he's going to be 3 years old. Yeah, exactly.
Well, happy birthday, Grady. Happy 53, dude.
Yes, exactly. Elise joins me in the dog birthday parties too. I think you should celebrate every birthday as if it's the biggest one. I don't believe in the whole, oh, it's only 53, Grady. No. 53, celebrate it. I love it. Live long and prosper, as Maud says. So yeah, happy birthday. Anybody else's birthday, just throw it in there and we'll always throw you a big ol' happy birthday. We'll touch on the GOP debate. Again, I saw one person say, really, why are we even having these debates? Because Trump is so far ahead of every other candidate. I don't know. It is ridiculous. One person says, we're just doing this just in case Trump chokes on a cheeseburger. Like, he would have to, and I'm not wishing death on anybody, but he would have to go away in whatever form, whether it's by law, by jail, or by God, for any of these people to have a chance. Do you guys agree with that? And what did you think of last night's debate, even if you watched it kind of on the social media clips, because that's the only way I watch, although you know I'm going to play the Nikki Haley clip because I did find that to be funny.
Oh, scum.
You scum. Also, a little closer to home, that San Jose police officer that's been let go because of his racist text messages, and he shot a black guy who was actually a hero. KTVU has his deposition. I'm going to play you a little clip of it. I won't play you the whole entire thing. But he says something that really, it made me pause. Because on one hand, I mean, the texts are disgusting and just so awful. On the other hand, this point that he makes, I wonder if people actually think that that's okay. So you guys let me know about that. And we'll talk about a whole lot more, but let's get some business out of the way. Click that thumbs up button to show your support of the show. YouTube loves it. Sorry. It's so cold. My nose is running. I apologize. YouTube loves it. I love it. It helps us grow on the show. The super chat is also live. You can throw us a super thanks, a super comment, and we'll read it live on the show if you do it during the live show. The number one way to support the show, of course, is our monthly Patreon. You decide what amount you can afford, and there's no tiers yet. I'm brainstorming some things in the new year on some tiers. But it's really hard for me to pull the trigger on that just because I love our community and I understand that some people can only afford so much. But there are some plans and ideas in the works. But right now, you decide how much you can afford every single month. Just go to thenikkimedoroshow.com. The Patreon link is there. And again, you can choose whatever amount you want. As far as the pins. Oh, hold on. I had Ricky up there for just... Okay, so Ricky, I adore you. I really do. So anybody, and there are a bunch of you actually, that sent me money yesterday. I have it still right here. This pin. I refunded you your money. And there's a reason why I refunded your money. And you guys got a note. And Ricky, I appreciate it. I got your other note on PayPal. Look, I was given the wrong information about how much it was. Now, this thing is very light. What I did not understand when I went to a postal annex is that even though this thing is like that thin, they're considering it a package. So postal annex was like, yeah, just throw it in the in an envelope and you're fine. And then I went to USPS, the post office, because I had a bunch of them and it was really close by. And they were charging me an astronomical amount because they considered this a package. So I'm trying to figure something out. I know it's really, really silly. It's just becoming economically not feasible to ship something as small as this. Now, if it was the mystery box or whatever, totally get it. This, I got to figure something else out. So
you put it in a regular envelope?
So I'm going to do, this is my plan. Okay. I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to mail this to myself in an envelope. This to me, you know what this reminds me of, Kim? You know those birthday cards that play music, right?
Yeah.
It's thick, but it's still in an envelope. And I don't understand why there's a difference between that and this. I even called my friend who works at a postal annex because it was not the same one. She's in Idaho. And I'm like, what is going on here? She's like, yeah. She's like, you could just try to send it through the mail and see what happens. So I'm going to do an experiment. And Ricky, I'm going to do the experiment. And then once my experiment is over, then I'll figure out how to get people their pins. But it's just becoming really insanely expensive to ship something that's this little and this light. And again, I don't have that many of them, but I have enough where it becomes kind of financially not feasible. But we'll figure it out. I have the pins. They're not going away. I will keep you posted. And Ricky, you will get your pin. Don't worry about it. But yeah, that's another way to support the show. You can also support the show through PayPal. And it's easy. Just go to thenikkimedoroshow@gmail.com. You will see the show logo. You will see confirmation that, yes, this is the Nikki Medoro Show PayPal address, whatever. And so just go to paypal.com, hit send money, and then put in the email, thenikkimedoroshow@gmail.com. There's also merch. I'm going to start designing some new merchandise and fun things like that. Again, it would be way easier if I created the pins through that, but they did not do it that way. And so that's why I've created this stupid problem for myself that I promise, solve. Marilyn, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. You are amazing. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, it's so heartwarming when you guys support the show in whatever way you can. And so I appreciate Marilyn, Ricky, so many of you that always do it. And because we have a good time and I want to keep the show going. But of course, it's we have to make money because this is our job. Yeah, Calvin, I know. I really was trying to talk the person at the USPS to let me do it anyway. Calvin says, I think the pin's too thick compared to paper in an envelope. It can't go through the letter sorter, so it's a package. I know, but it just doesn't seem any fatter. I'm being honest. I'm not trying to get one over on people. It really doesn't seem any fatter than a birthday card, like the music birthday cards.
Maybe if it didn't have the pin sticking up on the back, it would be that. But because it has the pin, if you put it through the sorter, it'll squish it.
So it's this thick. I mean, I get it. I bought all these freaking envelopes too. So I gotta you know what I mean? Like you think one thing, whatever. It's okay. I'll figure it out. I will get my fans their pins. Don't worry about it. It will happen. It will happen. It will happen. And Doug, I adore you. Thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. You guys are great. And Ricky, I agree. I love the donors. You guys make it so awesome. Okay. Let's do a little bit of the GOP debate before we do headlines with Kim, okay? Because, let me first do the SAG-AFTRA announcement. There's not much because we're going to get more information and people will start to vote on it, even though the National Committee or the negotiating committee already voted on it and the strike has ended. Friday is when the full details of it will be released. But the email that I got said this. We are thrilled and proud to tell you that your committee voted unanimously to approve a tentative agreement. It ended at 12:01 today. In a contract valued at over $1 billion, we've achieved a deal of extraordinary scope that includes above pattern, whatever that means, minimum compensation increases, so bigger ones than they had before, unprecedented provisions for consent and compensation that will protect members from the threat of AI, which was really the crux of, I think, where a lot of the hiccups were. And for the first time, establishes a streaming participation bonus. I'd love the details on that because that's another one that's going to be really interesting to watch. For pension and health caps, they've been substantially raised. The deal includes numerous improvements for multiple categories, including outsized compensation increases for background performers and critical contract provisions protecting diverse communities. Now, I understand that some people may think, oh, God, those background performers, right? Like, oh, the stand-ins, or you're just standing there and you're the crowd. Why can't we AI that? You want to know why? Because so many people get their start doing that. That's why. I think it was Brad Pitt was, he had given an interview about how he was trying to get a SAG-AFTRA card, and you can only get a SAG-AFTRA card if you say something. Okay, you have to actually have words, and he tried to say words, and they actually reprimanded him for it and things like that. It's how you get your foot in the door. You do these things, you meet the people, you make your contacts. If you do that once and then they AI you, I don't know what you call you, they digitize you, your image, that's it for you. Like, that's the problem. And so we have to, protect those sorts of people, or it's just not going to be feasible for these people to start their career. I mean, because I'm part of SAG-AFTRA, I get all the notices. Kim, you'll remember we're looking for actors that do this, that, and the other. They've obviously been on hold because of the strike. But yeah, I mean, they're looking for a man age 50 that looks like this or whatever. And you go out there and you try to get your feet wet doing this sort of thing. You can't just give that up. Vicki, again, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. I love all of you guys. You guys are great. John says streaming was a good way to get around paying actors residuals. Yeah, I mean, so I know that you get a significant, and I'm putting that in quotes because it matters, of course, the show, off TV, right? Like reruns and things like that. That was the traditional way. It's got to be hard to figure out how to pay people what they're owed when you can stream something anytime you want to. Like, there's one thing of, on channel 36, they're going to air all the Friends episodes, but you have to be sitting down watching it. You're an engaged kind of person.
I would think it's easier to keep track of the number of times the show has been watched in the streaming versus on regular television.
But do you think that it should be paid the same as if it was on traditional television? That's my question, because I feel like with traditional television, it's airtime that is locked in for that show with that ad, those ads that you can see. With streaming, I could have, technically, Kim, look, we've done this. You're watching Friends. I'm just going to use Friends because it's in the news. I could watch Friends on Netflix and fall asleep and it just keeps going and go, unless it asks you if you still want to watch. But it's a different type of watching, if that makes sense. And so I could watch Friends 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year long. And someone could be raking in the bucks. I mean, I want to be fair in like the business aspect of it, because streaming a television show, it is fundamentally different than watching it on, over air broadcast television. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what the details are going to be.
We'll see what they do. Whether it's the user who, well, it has to be like the streaming service who pays, right?
Yeah.
It would have to be, yeah. It'll be interesting. But they know exactly how many clicks it got.
Yeah. Exactly. And Calvin, you make a good point. The streaming companies will not pay equal to broadcast TV, but something is better than nothing. Exactly. I would say there has to be a threshold. So for every, I'm just throwing out an arbitrary number, 100,000 streams, you get so much money, right? So it's kind of, I'm going to equate it kind of like music, although I think that musicians get screwed with Spotify and things like that. Mm-hmm. But I imagine it's going to be something like that. But again, the details, all the nuts and bolts have not been released. They'll be released tomorrow. But I am so happy that the strike is over, that people can start working, that all the auxiliary people that make TV shows run will start getting paid, because that's how they make their living and they have to do it. Okay, now let's go to the GOP debate. Kim, I imagine that you were just glued to your television last night watching this.
Oh, yeah. Couldn't get enough. No.
All right. So one of the clips that has been getting a lot of the news, of course, Vivek Ramaswamy, I think, they're all long shots, but he is just, I feel like, a guy that is mirroring himself after Trump, saying outlandish things that have nothing to do with anything, but he just wants to get the clicks. So first, he tries to take on Nikki Haley. And I guess in one of the last debates, Nikki Haley had said something about Vivek Ramaswamy being on TikTok or whatever. Here is him bringing that up last night.
Well, I want to laugh at why Nikki Haley didn't answer your question, which is about looking at families in the eye. In the last debate, she made fun of me for actually joining TikTok while her own daughter was actually using the app for a long time. So you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my daughter out of your voice.
Your adult daughter. The next generation of Americans are using it. And that's actually the point. You have her supporters propping her up. That's fine. Here's the truth. The easy answer is actually.
You're just going. I think that his point could have been made without doing what he did.
She will Smith them. Leave my daughter's name out of. She said out of your voice.
Out of your voice's mouth, but
yeah. Leave my daughter's name out of your voice.
He could have made that point though about TikTok without going after her daughter, right?
Oh, yeah, but he wanted to show that she's a hypocrite, right?
Exactly.
That she got on me for it when her own daughter's using it. But he broke the rule. You do not go after somebody's family up on the debate stage. Rude and uncouth.
Yeah, it's his way of what we just did, right? He gets his name mentioned. They get to figure it out, right? He gets his platform or his ideas out, but he also is cannibalizing members of his own party. And in that way, he did it by going after Ronna McDaniel. Now, Ronna McDaniel is the chair of the RNC. She's awful. I'm not defending her in any way, shape, or form, because she's really freaking annoying. But he was really critical, not just of Nikki Haley and of all those sorts of things, just even the fact that the debate was being held on NBC, he was critical of. And I don't think that was necessarily the smartest move. Here he is. I'm just bringing it up real quickly. Criticizing the debate being on NBC, even though NBC has gotten a lot of praise for how they moderated the debate.
Think about who's moderating this debate. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk. We'd have 10 times the viewership, asking questions that GOP primary voters actually care about and bringing more people into our party. You think the Democrats, and we've got Kristen Welker here, you think the Democrats would actually hire Greg Gutfeld to host a Democratic debate? They wouldn't do it. And so the fact of the matter is, Kristen, I'm going to use this time because this is actually about you in the media and the corrupt media establishment.
Oh, God.
Russia collusion hoax that you pushed
and
on this network for years.
Right here.
Was that real, or was that Hillary Clinton made up disinformation? Answer the question. Go.
She's not on the debate stage, you moron.
I mean, this is how we get our country back.
I love that she didn't bite. You know what I mean?
We need accountability because this media rigged the 2016 election.
No, they did not.
They rigged the 2020 election with the Hunter Biden laptop story.
Mr. Ramaswamy,
and they're going to rig this election.
Your time is up.
Accountability.
It's only rigged, Vivek, if you're not the winner or if Trump's not the winner. That is the only way.
He's so icky.
I know. And he's so annoying. I'm biased.
He looks like a character. Yeah. He looks like a character from Beavis and Butthead. Like the way his hair is and everything. He like a slick car salesman. Mm-hmm. I just ew.
Yeah, he's annoying. And he just says things again, that's annoying. And then he criticized Ronna McDaniel. And I don't know. I understand that they lost a lot and they've been losing a lot. Here's Ronna McDaniel responding to Dana Bash's question regarding, what her response is to Vivek Ramaswamy.
To you personally. He did. I'm not going to do that. I'm always going to focus on the Democrats. I will say this, Dana. This Republican on Republican infighting, I'm not running for president, so I'm not in this primary, isn't helping our party. We lost races in 2022 because of vitriol within our party. We need every Republican and then some to win elections. And the Republican voters want to hear us talk about the border, fentanyl, Israel, our kids, crime, inflation, and they want to see us take on Joe Biden.
I understand that, but he was criticizing you personally, but he was also criticizing the notion of having a debate with somebody other than a conservative media outlet.
I stand by our choice to go with a non-conservative media outlet. I think NBC did a great job. Hugh Hewitt and Salem Radio, a conservative outlet, was part of that. But I'll also say this, 42% of our country is independent. We're not going to win elections if we sit in an echo chamber of Republican media and don't talk to other voters about these issues.
Ding, 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 ding. And I love that they know that it's Republican media. I love that she said it that way because exactly. I was watching, forgive me. It was either Newsmax or OWN, but they were literally saying when they were talking about the election, the anchors in quotes were saying, what do we have to do? And I'm like, I'm sorry. There's the word news. There should be no we. What are we? You are not supposed to be part of the whole thing. And that's what boggles my mind when these conservatives try to debate issues with me and other people, throwing sound bites that they get from Fox News or Newsmax or OWN. Or they say, I don't even watch Fox News anymore. And then they mention OWN and Newsmax as if they went better. And it's like, no, you're getting worse. Like, I don't even think you can get worse than Fox News, but you have with Newsmax and OWN. And so the fact that Newsmax, I believe it was, says, what do we have to do to win the next election, tells you everything you need to know about the information, about the issues. That's the problem, is that they're not even hiding the fact that they're an echo chamber anymore. They're just not. And I'm sorry, people are like, what about CNN? No way. CNN, they're heads and toes and feet, whatever, ahead of something like Newsmax. You don't think that they totally criticize President Biden? They show those sides. Now, yes, can some people like, well, they're very much against Donald Trump. If you think any criticism of Donald Trump means that they're biased, I don't know what to tell you. But there's evidence of everything. And the fact that they're not going to go wall to wall with the Hunter Biden laptop doesn't mean that they're in the same category as Newsmax and Fox and all the others. So give me a freaking break with that. But yeah, it was quite interesting to watch. But again, there was an article. Trump is still the front runner. I don't know what it's going to take. I really don't. Again, that guy was right. Unless he chokes on a cheeseburger, the guy's going to be the nominee. And it bothers me. But listen to this headline. Some 1,100 days after former President Trump lost the 2020 election, he promised during a recent podcast interview that evidence he won will be revealed soon. How many times do you have to say, I'm about to reveal that evidence before people are like, I don't think you got any evidence?
At the end, it's always like the big reveal. I will it'll be a bombshell. And then the day comes and it's wah, 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 wah.
Yeah. So he was on with Buck Sexton and Clay Travis. And he claimed the proof he had enough votes to win the election will come out in the next few months. Why not now? 1,100 days. I mean, and I know intelligent people in my life. How are you so falling for this bull crap? Like, how are you doing that? I just don't get it. I don't understand. And the fact that this asshat is your nominee, it's likely going to be your nominee, blows my mind. And he's going to be, I don't know if you saw, but he's going to be on the Minnesota primary ballot. The Supreme Court in Minnesota has dismissed the insurrection clause.
Well, that's a disappointment.
That's a disappointment. Well, you know, if you were going to vote for Trump in Minnesota, even if he wasn't on it, you were going to write his name in. I mean, it's really not that difficult, right? It's annoying, but Marjorie Taylor Greene has come out, you know, our favorite freaking asshat part 2, has warned the GOP it will rue the day when Trump is gone. She says that the GOP, she's blasting the GOP over its poor showing in Tuesday night's various elections across the country. Greene says Republicans did not lose because of abortion itself. It's how the party handles the issue, or rather does not handle the issue. She said our voters are not inspired to vote for a party that wants to play nice and refuses to hold accountable communists who locked everyone down during the scamdemic, violated their free speech, and censored us on social media, steals elections, weaponizes the government against us, its political enemies, and it's persecuting a people. You are the problem, Marjorie. You are the problem. Most Americans are done with it. And that's what I think we saw Tuesday night, right? Moms of Liberty. Thank you, Calvin, for sending me this article. Moms of Liberty candidates in school board elections handedly lost, right?
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry, your Marjorie Taylor Greenes and Lauren Boeberts, you guys might get a lot of the media eyeballs because you're so bat-ass crazy. And you might, you know, generate these headlines. Sane Americans, which there are more of us than the insane ones, they're done. Exhausted. They're just like, stop. We're not that stupid anymore. And I'm saying anymore because obviously Trump won an election with his nonsense. I think people are just seeing through it. You can't fool these people for this long. You know, between Marjorie Taylor Greene's comments, Trump saying, I'm going to have the evidence real soon, 1,100 days after he lost the election, people are like, you got to be kidding me, man. Like, I'm not that stupid. I'm just not that stupid. But you do have to wonder what is going to happen next year, you know, between, you know, political misinformation, disinformation, people like Vivek Ramaswamy. I will say TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all these platforms where people get their information. You know, Facebook and Instagram, the AP was reporting, are going to require political ads running on their platforms to disclose if they were created using artificial intelligence. It's supposed to take effect sometime next year, but although we don't know, I don't know how much. But again, there should be a watermark on it. People need more information. And as much as I hate Twitter, I have noticed more of the fact checking going on certain, you know, comments and tweets and things from people like, this isn't exactly true, or this is, you know, this is an old video or whatever. We need more of that. We need more of that because people need to be, and it's not censorship. It's fact checking and making people aware that not everything you read on the internet is the truth. All right. So that's kind of, you know, where I am. I'm frustrated. I can't believe, and I know it's still early, but I just can't believe that the GOP is going to make Trump their nominee again. I really can't. And you know what? I don't give two craps what the polls say about Trump versus Biden. I don't, because I firmly believe that if it's Trump versus Biden again, there is no way in hell sane Americans are going to vote for Trump again. I just don't. At least not enough to get him the election. I just don't. Now, I will also say this. They're both old. And I'm not trying to wish anything on anybody, but we got to face facts that both Trump and Biden are old, and we need to have a plan in place if something, God forbid, happens. So let's just keep that in mind. Okay, we're going to do some headlines. When we come back, I'll play you a little bit of that deposition from that San Jose police officer who was let go after racist texts were found. And this was the same officer who shot a young black man who was actually a hero and had disarmed somebody with a gun. We'll talk about that. Jefferson Graham is also going to join us in the second part of the show. He has an update. Remember when he was telling us about that time-lapse video that he did? He has some tips and tricks if you want to do that. And some photography mistakes that you'll want to avoid, especially during the holiday season. Make sure you have clicked that thumbs up button to show your support of the show. And here's Kim with some more headlines.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
We'll start in the Middle East again. Israel will be allowing daily 4-hour passes in the fighting in Gaza against Hamas. The White House says pauses, not passes, pauses. The pauses will allow people in northern Gaza to head south toward Egypt. 2 humanitarian corridors will also be established in the Gaza Strip. President Biden told reporters while leaving the White House there is no chance of a full ceasefire in the fighting at this time. He said he is optimistic in the effort to free hostages held by Hamas. Again, Israel allowing daily 4-hour pauses in the fighting in Gaza against Hamas. Republican presidential hopefuls made their case for the Oval Office. They tried to. 5 candidates faced off last night in Miami in a debate hosted by NBC News. They clashed over how to handle the southern border, funding for Ukraine, support for Israel, and abortion as well. Entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy opening the debate by attacking RNC chairwoman Ronna McDaniel and the media, as you saw Nikki played there. He also clashed with former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley over foreign policy, including robust U.S. support for Ukraine in its war with Russia, calling Ukraine a corrupt country. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, meanwhile, called out Donald Trump for skipping the debate. Trump instead, very, very nearby, held a rally while everybody was on the debate stage.
Yeah, I mean, that's where he wants to be because it doesn't serve him to be on the debate stage. It doesn't.
No one questions him in the rally. It's all his. Oh,
exactly.
Trump, you're so amazing.
Great point. And again, I know that many of the candidates were pointing out that Trump wasn't there, but at the same time, it's like the people that love Trump don't care that he's not there. He already has them in their pocket. And I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do about this, Kim. I really don't. But the GOP is going to go down with the Trump ship, I think. I really do.
President Biden is expected to meet face-to-face with Chinese President Xi Jinping next week. The leaders will reportedly hold talks on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation in San Francisco. Both American and Chinese officials have expressed interest in improving relations between the two countries. President Biden and Xi Jinping last year met nearly a year ago during the G20 summit in Bali. New York's Attorney General has rested her civil fraud case against former President Trump with testimony by his daughter. Attorney General Letitia James claimed that Ivanka Trump benefited personally from grossly inflated numbers for her dad's businesses. Ivanka testified she wasn't involved in putting the financial statements together, but emails revealed her acknowledging them. It also showed her getting advice from her husband, real estate tycoon Jared Kushner, on various projects, including financing for the old post office building in Washington, which would become a Trump luxury hotel. Kushner told Ivanka she could get better pricing. She got $4 million when the Trump sold it last year. Former President Trump's lawyers present their defense on Monday. Who will they call to the stand?
It was really interesting. She can't remember so many things, but she remembered like she was going to be picking up her kids or something with her kids during it.
I don't recall.
I don't. Yeah. And it's not the first. That's what they tell you to say, right? If you have a good lawyer, they tell you, look, don't give them anything, which, yeah. But at the same time, it's so blatantly obvious to so many of us what's going on, but we'll see if they could prove it in a court of law. So we'll see.
Federal prosecutors say a man accused of robbing 2 Salt Lake area banks used Uber to make his getaway from the holdup.
Are you serious? Oh, that's hilarious.
The 35-year-old suspect was indicted Wednesday for the recent bank robberies. The U.S. Attorney's Office says bank employees wrote down the license plate number of the car that took him away from the first holdup, and investigators tracked it to an Uber driver. The driver told them when he picked up the man near the bank, he had red dye on his hands and a jacket, and smoke appeared to be coming from his pocket. Police later found a dye pack on the ground right near the bank. You're busted. They're going to find you.
Yes, they're going to find you. I mean, come on.
Dumb criminal. As you also mentioned, Nikki, the Hollywood strike is over this morning. And that means thousands of our brothers and sisters in SAG-AFTRA working in the film and TV sector can go back to work after production was shut down for nearly 4 months. Their union agreed to a new contract deal with major studios last night, and it includes higher pay, more residual payments related to streaming content, and better benefits. Governor Gavin Newsom was quick to react on social media, saying it will benefit the economy statewide and kickstart a new wave of exciting projects.
Yay. I'm so happy it's over. I mean, and again, there's going to be a lull. I think Bob Iger was saying right now, the Disney CEO, he was saying right now it's not, they're not taking too big of a hit, but if it would have gone on longer, they would have. So there was momentum on both sides to get this thing done.
Well, as one strike ends, another is about to begin. 1,100 maintenance employees at California State University campuses are prepping to walk off the job on Tuesday. That will stop work orders at 22 campuses. A union official calls its members the unsung heroes who keep the place running and take care of all the problems. Electricians, plumbers, mechanics, locksmiths, and others say they're fighting for appreciation and recognition in the form of a fair contract.
Wow, it's the year of strikes, a couple years of strikes. I mean, it just everyone, there's also the strike in Vegas, the casino workers. I think that they've reached an agreement. Yeah, it's just like everywhere you turn, people are like, we're fed up. And I love it. Get what you are owed, because CEOs always get theirs. So get yours.
More California voters are shifting their support of President Biden. A new poll out of UC Berkeley surveyed 6,300 people and found that a majority disapprove of the job he's doing. That number came in at 52%, the highest since Biden's been in office. It's not really an issue that stands out, since he scored lower on topics such as inflation, immigration, and the war between Israel and Hamas. On the flip side, 44% of voters praised President Biden's performance. So,
I feel like, again, there's always room for criticism. And I am not saying that Biden has done everything right? But even last night, Vivek Ramaswamy was talking about how, we need to pull away from China and start producing things like semiconductors here in the United States, which is exactly what President Biden got done with the CHIPS Act, right? So I feel like there is a lack of education. And I'll say that I do believe the White House and the Biden administration really try to educate people on all the things that he's done, but it's falling on deaf ears because they're like, nope, you suck, you're old, you talk funny. Honestly, I think it's that immature, because I feel like if people truly educated themselves on all of the things that have passed or Biden has tried to get passed without Republican interference, right? There's no freaking way they'd be like, Biden is ineffective or not a good president. It blows my mind. Is there criticism? Absolutely. Afghanistan. I will even say, dealing with inflation, and remember it was transitory and work. And even though Biden can't change everything, he can't deal with supply chains and what have you. When you're in the White House, the buck does stop with you. But I just think it's completely unfair. And I think that it's ignorance or deliberate ignorance on the part of many voters that say that Biden hasn't been effective.
Something happened at the debate last night where I guess Tim Scott has been very criticized for being single.
I saw something about that. Yes, that's
fuzzy
the picture. Yeah.
South Carolina Senator and White House hopeful Tim Scott is finally revealing his girlfriend after last night's third Republican debate in Miami. The 58-year-old Scott was seen smiling for photos on stage with a mystery woman shortly after the debate. A campaign statement said the woman is his girlfriend, Mindy. She was later identified as a design and renovations manager in Charleston. Scott has grabbed attention during his campaign for his unmarried status. He now confirms he's been dating Mindy for about a year or so.
Yeah. So apparently one headline I read said that GOP voters would not vote for Tim Scott because he's not married, which is the most asinine thing that I've ever heard. But I can understand, what was it, The American President or something? There was one of those movies, Hollywood movies, that was about that. Like, people want to see their president married, right? They want to see that. They want that you have family values, blah, 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 blah. And so some people are hinting, and I'm not saying that this is true or this is some made up relationship, but people are like, oh, he just grabbed a woman that he knows. And oh, look, this is the girlfriend that I've been dating for a year that you've never seen until now. I don't know. I don't know if it's true, but I don't think it matters either. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to vote for Tim Scott, but it doesn't matter to me whether or not a president is married or has children or anything. Does it matter to you? Really?
No, it doesn't. I would vote for someone who is not married, but I think there's the appeal of a person who's, who understands family issues and knows what it's like to raise a family, although they're all rich anyway. But you hear presidents say, they get it, they want to leave a better world for their children and their grandchildren. I don't know. I don't think I would be discriminatory in that way. I think I would vote for the best candidate regardless of their family.
And I'll push back a little bit. Just because you're not married doesn't mean that you don't have, family values. Everybody has grown up in some type of family, whether it was a good family or a not so good family. And it's just like, even if you don't have sisters, you should still care about women or daughters. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm a member of society. I want the best for all of society.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gay, but I care about gay rights, right? Like, I don't need to check every box to be able to serve every community well. And I do think that this is just really weird that, like, nobody has seen Tim Scott with anybody. And now all of a sudden he has this, attractive woman with him. And he's like, yeah, I've been with her for a year. Really? Like, okay, sure.
And would you date? Here's the question that I have. Would you date someone running for president?
Oh, God, no. Do you know the amount of digging in your closet and criticizing you'd have to? I wouldn't want to run.
Here comes the Mindy bashing. Yeah.
I would never want to run for office simply because every little thing that you do, everything you've said your entire life is going to be judged.
And does Mindy want to be the first lady?
I don't know. I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want. Politics sucks. There is no friggin' way. You couldn't pay me enough. No way.
Lastly, let's talk about snake pizza. Pizza Hut is introducing a new snake meat pizza in Hong Kong. The pizza features shredded snake meat along with black mushrooms and dried ham. I can't think of anything I'd rather not eat. No, that's not true. There are things. The creation is inspired by a traditional snake stew, and it's available for a limited time.
Have you ever had snake?
No.
I went when I was a reporter in Sacramento. They sent me to the state fair where they had rattlesnake, and they had me try it. And it was so bad. Like, I took a bite, and at first it wasn't bad, but I think it was just because it was like the fried and the seasoning, and then all of a sudden it was chewy, and I was just like, and I literally felt so bad. I'm like, I have to spit this out. There's no way that I could eat this. It was so, and that they like kind of prepped me for it. They're like, it might not be for everybody type of thing, and I was like, it is not for me, and it did not taste like chicken, Harry. It did not. No. But since you're talking about snakes, and I know that this is just kind of being a bully, kind of, sort of, but it's really funny. Did you know that Ron DeSantis is often compared to a snake? Like,
really?
Literally. So apparently he does this thing.
With the tongue in his
with the tongue, and he did it last night.
Yeah.
He did it last night. So hold on, I'm going to show you the video. I was cracking up. I wasn't going to do it, but since we talked about snake pizza, sorry, it just calls for it. Here he is, and watch his tongue. So here we go.
And we've acted swiftly and decisively.
Senator Scott, you've been in the Congress since 2011. Defense.
And we've acted swiftly.
Hold on. There was another one. I thought that I brought up the wrong one. So he did this whole, like, and Thank you for, God bless America and everybody like that. Oh, darn it.
There was a lot of
was
tongue
another
darting
one.
out there, and it wasn't like just a licking of the lips. It was like
No,
a
it's like he
in and
can't
out.
keep his tongue in his mouth. He can't keep his tongue in his mouth for some reason. I can't find it, but he was saying something to the effect of, and God bless America, and he smiles, and as he smiles, he sticks his tongue, and he goes like this, he goes, and then he puts his tongue back in his mouth. Now, is it a deciding factor in who's for president? No. Is it totally being a snarky little bitch that I am for bringing this up again? Yes, but he's odd. He's an odd man. Somebody said he's not human. He tried the human smile, but he forgot to stick his tongue back in his mouth. So I don't know. I don't like Ron DeSantis, so any sort of criticism of him is totally biased because I don't like him. But yeah, he's a weirdo, and I am quite surprised at how much his stock and popularity has fallen, right? Because he was supposed to be, the next president of the United States. He was supposed to be like, it was a Trump versus DeSantis, and that just did not pan out at all.
Nikki Haley, though, seems to be having a surge.
Yeah, she does. But, again, it's still early. And what's a surge compared to Trump? You know what I mean? Like, you can have as many surges. I just feel like it's going to be this, whoever can hold out the longest, right? Whoever can keep enough cash flowing in to get on the next debate to be still considered a viable candidate is the one that's going to go up against Trump. But I mean, unless something significantly happens to Trump, and again, I think that even more significant than him landing his ass in jail, it's going to be him. And it's insane that it is. It's so sad.
All right. I think I might have found the smile video.
Oh, please. Hopefully it is. It's so
will
funny.
Not let you down.
Oh, yeah.
God bless you.
Governor DeSantis, thank you.
Can you show it again? Just show it again. Everybody pay attention.
And as your president, I will not let you down. God bless you.
Governor DeSantis, thank you.
Part of me wonders,
is
is
president,
it
one
like
more time.
Down. God bless you.
Governor DeSantis, thank you.
Children, you know what I mean? Like children's sticks. I have a school picture from when I was really little with my tongue hanging out, like just a little bit. Part of me was, is this like a, Mary Tyler Moore, or who was it? Right? Like used to
the earlobe. Yeah. No.
Earlobe thing. It wasn't Mary Tyler Moore. It was, I forgot.
When I stick my tongue out, every time I stick my tongue out, I'm thinking of you. Nobody's going to say that.
See, that's what Kim. That's what I'm saying. Are these secret signals to his wife or his fellow snakes? You know what I mean? It's just really odd. It's a really, really odd habit that he has. But maybe it's kind of like a tick thing. Like I don't know. Maybe he has a lip, tongue, mouth thing. I don't know, but and then he has the whole heels thing, which
maybe
again,
he has dry mouth.
Maybe he's dry mouth. Maybe he just. It's a weird thing, though, isn't it? I mean, oh yeah, it was Carol Burnett. Thank you, Kevin. Carol Burnett used to do the ear thing. Yeah, it's just too much. It's too much. Okay, that's it. I'm done making fun of DeSantis.
It is weird, though. Not gonna
lie. Are you done with your news?
Yeah, this report. Sorry. Snake pizza. We wrapped it up with snake pizza.
Yes, we wrapped it up. Okay.
This report is crowd sponsored, which means we do rely on you. Find us at The Nikki Medoro Show. Check out the website, thenikkimedoroshow.com. And you'll find the Patreon link and the PayPal link and all the other links to all the goodness that is the Nikki Medoro Show. I'm Kim McAllister on, yes, it is the Nikki Medoro Show.
And the DeSantis bashing show today. But, the GOP bashing show, I'll take that moniker on. They need to improve themselves immediately. Okay. So this is a really interesting statement that I wanted to kind of get your guys' thoughts on of the San Jose police officer. San Jose, now he's former because he's been kicked off the force. Former San Jose police officer Mark McNamara testified, I believe this was back in June, on the shooting of a football player at a downtown San Jose taqueria. I believe it was La Victoria. What happened was the young man had disarmed somebody with a gun, was coming out of the restaurant. All these other officers were there. They had their guns pointed at him. McNamara was the only one that fired shots. The guy lived, thankfully. So he was being deposed. And, obviously more information has come out after the shooting that he didn't know going into it, which is always the case. But I want to play you this one clip where, whoever's interviewing McNamara is basically trying to get out of McNamara whether or not he feels sorry for what happened. And this is what the former officer said. And I want you to tell me, after you hear it, if you agree with what he was saying. Here we go. Oh, hold on. I always have my volume down.
Who think like that, who have a heavy remorse.
Hold on, let's back it up a little bit. Okay.
You have to understand that people who think like that, who have a heavy remorse after the facts, right? They don't usually last in law enforcement. So I can't live my life saying, well, now that it's been over a year, almost 2 years, and we have all of these facts, I can't go back and say, man, I made the wrong decision. I didn't make the wrong decision. I took the totality of the circumstances and I acted to the best of my training and knowledge and ability. And, I think if you look into my file, you'll see that I've used force many times, 0 IA complaints, right? Because it's always been necessary. I always do what I have to do. So you're asking, does it make it worse that Mr. Green wasn't related to the homicide? Not for me.
So basically what he's saying is, I can't have remorse for things that happened in the past because then I can't do my job. I'm not buying it. No. I don't see why having remorse afterwards makes you any less capable of a police officer, but maybe I'm missing something here and the only reason I'm asking it this way is, Kim, we've talked about before, in the job of being a journalist, the things that you have to cover and see. If you felt everything so fully, you never leave bed, right? If a doctor that works in like child oncology, right, felt every death, then they would never be able to do their job. But an officer, right, that knows that they may have jumped the gun too much, not having remorse seems to me that's not the kind of officer I want, because then they'll always say, whatever is my first instinct is the right thing, and I'm never going to better myself, take pause, better assess the situation before I decide to pull the trigger.
I don't care what line of work you're in or whether you have to make split-second decisions. And I get what he's saying about not second-guessing yourself. And if you second-guess yourself, then sometimes you're dead, right? Because you paused or whatever. But if you made a mistake that hurt an innocent person, it is normal and moral and human to feel bad about it.
Exactly.
And feeling bad is also called remorse. So can you look back and say, I wish that had happened differently. I wish that I had known he wasn't part of it. When he came out, bursting out of the store, he looked like he was part of it. Did I shoot him because he was of color? These are questions I ask myself every day, and I think about it all the time.
Yeah,
he didn't say that. He kicked back in his chair with the most casual of pose.
And he was like, and that whole nah, I don't have that. Like,
it's the relaxed way he if someone is questioning me about a mistake of hurting an innocent person, my body language is much different than let me lean back and kick my feet up kind of pose. It just seemed like a guy who was unaffected. And I think there's something wrong with that.
Right. And to me, especially with all the attention that has gone into use of force, right? And police relations with people, especially with people of color. I say this hesitantly, but you think he'd know better to act a little bit remorseful, right? Even if you don't buy it, man. Like the fact that he couldn't even fake it a little bit, like, God, yeah, if I could, and you could still explain it the same way. So for instance, if I was an a-hole cop, but I wanted to fake it so that I could keep my job and keep up airs about the whole thing, I'd be like, you can't second guess yourself too much or you're not able to do the job. But now that I know that information, of course, would I have loved to have known everything the instant I arrived on the scene? Of course. Do I wish that, I always make the right decision? Everybody would want to, right? I mean, there's a way of explaining yourself that doesn't make you look like this guy looks, which is he doesn't give two rats butts if he makes the wrong decision, because that's his job. And like he said in the text, these people should just bow down to him. And it's disgusting. Debbie says, nope, empathy is important, especially in law enforcement. Absolutely.
I mean, would you want have that officer help you in your time of trouble. He has no empathy for you. He has no concern. Like, there's just a flat affect there. I don't know.
He didn't see, and again, he wasn't remorseful. He was very honest about that, but he didn't seem it either. Like, he seemed as if he was looking down even on the question, right? Kind of like, not to the extreme or the dramatic way, but like, anybody seen A Few Good Men, right? Jack Nicholson. The whole point is like, he thought that he's done the right thing. Don't question me. I know what needs to be done. And it reminds me of that. This arrogance, arrogance that I'm a cop. What I say goes. Even if I'm wrong, I'm right. Right? Even if I shot somebody that was innocent, well, that's what happens. And no, thank you. I don't want cops like that. I don't want cops like that. I can never be a police officer. I think it takes so much bravery to go in when other people are running out, right? The fact that you never know what the day is going to entail. I have respect for law enforcement. I have respect for the job. But you have to have bad cops off the force, or all cops are going to be judged by the worst of them. Aussie says, but with the law enforcement in my family, they can have mental issues from wrong decisions. Yeah, but that doesn't mean just because it has to be hard to deal with the decisions that you make, life or death situations, doesn't mean that you should not have any sort of remorse, right? Not wish, get mental health help, Obviously, you have a job where you encounter crisis and tragedy almost every day, right? You have to make these decisions every day. You have to, put them in compartments. I always mess up with that word. You have to separate yourself from the job or you will go nuts. But once you're kind of off the deep end a little bit, then I think you need to pull the badge. Yeah, law enforcement is not a robot job. These are human beings. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it doesn't mean that you're always right. And I think that it's dangerous when officers do think that they're always correct. Vicky says that was his job to make that split-second decision. Harry says the other side of the story will be just as disgusting. Some police department somewhere is going to hire him and they won't care. Yeah. Yeah, Eric says too many schoolyard bullies grow up to become cops. I will say this, there's too many people, and I agree with you, Eric. I think there's too many people that want to shoot people legally. I know it's disgusting to say, but I think that there are people who are like, wait, you're going to give me a badge and a gun and power to make decisions over people that I may not like? Sure. And you're going to give me a hiring bonus because you guys are so desperate for police officers? I mean, you can see how this problem can fester and grow, right? And so we need more cops, but we need more good cops. We need cops that want to call out bad cops. We need this. We need people that want to do the job fairly and justly and don't want to be judge, jury, and executioner. We don't need more of these guys. We don't need more McNamara's.
We need someone that is human, right? That puts humanity at the top of their priority list. That guy just didn't seem like he had it.
Yeah. Harry says, my best man is a retired SFPD sergeant. People like McNamara make him sick. They give all cops a bad name. Exactly. And that's why I want to hear. That's why I was so proud of Chief Mata and San Jose Mayor Mahan, right? Like they came out immediately like, nope, we're not putting up with this. Now, somebody said McNamara had quit, but I think they weren't going to defend him. So yeah, it was something like that, but he's not on the department anymore. And that's what we need. And it's not like, oh, where's my day in court? I mean, you shot somebody and the text messages are connected to you.
I know you didn't vote for your mayor, Mahan, but now that he's been in office for a while, what do you think of him? Are you glad you have him?
I'm encouraged. I will say that. I am encouraged. Now, I was cautious because he's like, I want to run San Jose like a business type of thing. And, that's what Trump would say, right? Not that he's not the man's a Trumper, but it was kind of that mentality, like, no, we're people. But no, I do like what he's doing as far as moving more quickly on homelessness, building tiny homes, things like that. We'll see. I have no criticism so far. Let me put it that way. So far, I have no criticisms. But again, he's new. Right? He's new. We have the Google campus and all that happening. and the change in developers and stuff like that. We have to see what happens this winter with the homelessness. We have to see new developments in San Jose. So, I'm not going to criticize something that's not there yet. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
All right. Okay. And let me give a big thank you to Rod, who came in with a $20 donation to our super chat. Thank you, Rod, for the donation as well.
That's really nice.
So, yeah, that's very, very nice of you, and we really do appreciate it. Okay, so let's switch gears because we have our good friend Jefferson Graham waiting in the wings, joining us as he does every Thursday. Hi, Jefferson. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Good to see both of you.
Hi.
Like the sweater. Nice sweater.
It's freezing. I don't know. I woke up. It was very, very cold in my house. But I'm a very cold person. It has to be 80 degrees before I take off my sweater. So
it's 80 degrees where I live today.
Wow, I'm so jealous, Jefferson. That makes me really sad for myself, not for you.
Yeah.
But we were talking last week, Jefferson, about how you did this kind of crazy thing on your friend's balcony. So if people missed us last week, what did you do?
I ran a time-lapse video of the world flying by at really fast speeds. And my friend lives at the beach where he and she and my friends are enjoying the 80-degree weather. And their neighbor lives on the second story. And the neighbor was on vacation. So they said I could put 2 cameras up there and run them for quite some time, which I did. I ran them for 10 days. And I learned a lot. But, first of all, it's the easiest thing in the world to do is to make a time-lapse video on your smartphone. You open up the camera app, you compose your image, and you press record. Hopefully, you'll also have it in a tripod. But, it's that easy.
Right.
But it turns out that Apple has some really weird stuff going on where they don't want your video to ever be longer than 30 seconds. So if Crazy Jeff does an experiment where he runs it for days, I turned it on and off several times just to make sure everything was working. But it was 2 days worth was 30 seconds long. And it turns out at the end, I figured out that they're taking frames out of the shot. They're doing everything possible and speeding it up even faster than normal. So that you'll never be longer than 30 seconds.
That's weird.
So I found an app called Lapse, which let me go for an extended period, and I was able to shoot for multiple days. So I have a sequel to last week's video, and this video is inspired by the one, the only Kim McAllister, who said, yes, indeed, I could run it for a complete hour. And that would be okay.
We want to see some of it. Let's see some of it.
Okay. Live debut right here.
It is
on the
really,
Nikki Medoro Show.
I looked at it and it's really cool. So here we go. This again is the time lapse in Manhattan Beach.
Okay. There it is. 24 hours flying by. Oh. And there goes the sun.
See, then the golden, beautiful shot. I could just listen to it all day, Jefferson. You know what I mean?
Oh, the sound of the waves, and it's beautiful.
I was really lucky in the second installment that I got fog. And it's so much fun watching the fog come in, right?
Oh, yeah. Now, I watched a lot of this.
Go by. That's cool.
Now, you moved it a little bit, right? Because a little bit in this, you'll see the kind of, I think you saw more of the beach later on in this video as well.
Oh, well, I had 2 cameras rolling. So
you had 2 cameras. Okay.
You see at the front, look at that.
I know, look at that. That is just gorge.
Yeah. So that's the other camera. And that was the fog coming in and coming out. And that was speeded up a little bit. This is normal fast time-lapse speed. And this is the stuff that I run for an hour. And anybody who's watching, I would love it if you would go to youtube.com/Photowalks TV and tell me that you saw this on the Nikki Medoro Show.
There you go.
Let's hear from you. Yeah.
It's really, really cool. And again, I could just have this video playing at night, just listening to it. It's really cool. But
there's a rainbow in there. Did you see that?
I see that.
Look at that. It's like a fog bow almost.
I know. Something that you would never, ever see.
No. I just like watching all the people walking on the beach as well and setting up chairs and stuff.
At a certain point, it gets really, really foggy, and they're out there anyway. And they don't care.
Of course.
Which is fine because it wasn't cold. It wasn't cold when it was foggy. It was just you couldn't see.
I love seeing how they swirl around.
I want to move into that woman's apartment. That's
know,
the
right?
most amazing view.
Yeah, here's what happened because it's a great story. So they bought the place for $500,000 30 or 35 years ago, and they split it with 3 couples.
I'm sorry, how much did they spend?
$500,000.
Oh, jeez, right.
But that was 30 something years ago, and they split it. So one couple gets one floor and the other one gets the other floor. They're studio apartments. I mean, they're very, very small, but who cares?
Right.
Who cares with the view they have out the window? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. And the piers right there. And look at all the people. Oh, it's just really, it's a really cool thing that you did, Jefferson.
It's awesome, really.
Aussie Rules asking, Jefferson, do you use filters? No, you never use filters.
No.
You know when the earth creates the best filters. That's your talent right there.
Yeah. I mean, in photo editing, I do things where I put editing digital filters on, but I never put a filter onto a video.
Yeah.
Not for like that. So yeah, so with the neighbor came back. So she came back on Tuesday, so I had to stop recording.
Oh, did she know though that you were there?
I don't know. I don't know if she cares. Because I mean, I just put 2 cameras on the deck, and
well, how'd you get to the deck?
Well, the deck's not far away. I mean, it's a studio apartment with a balcony, is what I'm talking about. The balcony. And on the balcony, I had 2 extension cords that I plugged into the camera to make sure they would continue running without running out of battery. And the good news is they kept going. They didn't overheat. They didn't get hot. They just kept going. And so the first clip you saw was the Lapse app on Apple. Now this is on the Galaxy, and on the Samsung Galaxy, which doesn't have rules about how long your video can be. It's good.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, do you know why? I mean, does Apple limit it to 30 seconds because they want you to share it on like Reels or Shorts? Is that what's the
answer I got was that they didn't want you eating at all your storage on the phone, because some people have old phones that don't have a lot of room. I don't know if you know anybody like that, but some people do. And so my files on the Samsung were humongous. I mean, 60 gigabytes. It took a long time to get that footage off. And 60 gigabytes is big for a video file on a smartphone.
Right. That's just really beautiful. MJ says, we're around a 3-hour drive from Seaside, Oregon. Went there for the 2017 eclipse. Got some good pictures, including a fog bow. Very cool. Yeah.
And MJ should know that I was there for the 2017 eclipse also. And I did a time lapse of the eclipse, but I was in Newport because it started in Newport and then went across the country. That was really exciting. I live streamed it and I did a time lapse. So it was a lot of fun.
I feel like there's another eclipse coming up soon.
Well, there wasn't there one 2 weeks ago?
Well, there was, but I think it was like partial here. I feel like the entire, like getting it completely, I thought was happening relatively.
Yeah, 2017 was really big.
Yeah, exactly. Like everybody was trying to see that one. That's an experience I'd love to have is to watch one of the eclipses.
The thing is that it was built up and it was hyped and it was undersold. I mean, it was even better than anybody could even describe it to you. You're standing there and it's sunny, and then the next thing it's not, and then it is, and it all happened so fast. And it was pretty exhilarating. Yeah.
Some people call it like a religious experience to witness something like that. And people are crying. And so Ren says April 8th, 2024. It's a total eclipse, but it's not here. Yeah, I think you have to travel somewhere for
Chile or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
I got to interview a couple during the eclipse that proposed while it was happening.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's really cool. Jennifer says Austin, Texas, though, in 2024. Is it going to be total in Austin, Texas? Austin, Texas is not far for a total eclipse.
Yeah, I'm up for it. Nikki, let's jump in the car and go there. What do you say?
I would love it. I really do. Oh, yeah. Ren says, yeah, we're going to Austin. Oh, that's really awesome. That's just on the bucket list of things. That and the Northern Lights. I'd love to see the Northern Lights. I'd love to see a total eclipse.
I looked up on Google Maps yesterday, and it looked like I could drive to Texas in about 18 hours. But what a drive! I get to go through Arizona and New Mexico, and
you would just take a regular car. You wouldn't take like an RV or something like that.
I'm not an RV driver. Did I tell you about the pickup truck that I rented in Atlanta because that was the only car they had, and it was really big. It was yeah, it was a little weird, but yeah, I prefer the smaller cars.
Yeah, and it's probably more economical gas-wise. You never know what gas prices are going to be like.
Yeah, well, the good
when that
news in
happens.
Atlanta, we're all California based here, but
Right.
in Atlanta, the gas is $3 a gallon, and so this was a gas guzzling truck that cost me $40 to put in a half a tank of gas, and had I been back home, that would have been 60 or 70,
Oh,
right?
heck yeah, it would have been. Absolutely. Yeah, Jim wants us to do the show from Austin during the eclipse. That would be amazing. And Harry says, Jefferson, you have to stop by when you're in Arizona. There you
Yeah,
go.
you're in Arizona. Okay.
I would love to do that. I would love to do that.
Where
Now,
in Arizona are you, Harry?
yeah,
What we have to know where you are.
because
in
I did
Arizona.
a photo walk episode of Flagstaff. Tucson is on my list, and I want to go to Phoenix.
Mhm.
And those are the three. I've been to like some of the Route 66 places, like Oatman and Seligman and Kingman, some of those places.
All right. Vicky says, I'm happy seeing photos of things like the Northern Lights. I don't need to see them in person. What do you think about that kind of a mentality, Jefferson? I
Well,
mean,
that's
you're
fine.
you're both. You take pictures, but you're also there.
That's why Jefferson does it, right? So Vicky doesn't have to go.
Yeah, though, like I said, the eclipse, night and day. I
Right.
mean, and there's some sites that are just so amazing. That like when I was in Nova Scotia recently, and we got the fall leaves, and they look great. And then you got out of the car, and they weren't so great, but they look great in the car. When you're driving, it was one of those. But you
Right.
sort of had to be there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's my whole thing. I mean, obviously,
Phoenix.
yeah, Harry's in Phoenix. You have to take, your pictures look amazing, but I think sometimes you just also want to be submersed in the whole situation, right? So there you
I'm
go.
really excited about coming up to San Francisco soon.
Yes, we're trying to make it work. I swear to God,
Yeah.
between APEC and the holidays, it's insane. But we're going to try to make that work, Jefferson.
What?
We have to
I'm
figure it
sorry.
out.
What is APEC? Oh,
The
APEC,
Asian
right? With
Pacific
Biden,
Economic.
with Biden.
Yeah, it's happening all next week.
Okay,
And
but
then
I'm thinking post-Thanksgiving.
yeah, post Thanksgiving we might be able to do. We'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll definitely be contacting you when I know my plans.
Mhm.
Question for Jefferson. I have a photo that I want to print really big, like above the fireplace. It's taken on an iPhone. Can you
Yes.
recommend a vendor to make it
Mhm.
large?
Yeah, I did a big piece in my newsletter within the last few weeks about this specific thing. And you could either email me, jeffersongraham@gmail, and I'll send it to you, or you could sign up for the newsletter and you'll find it right there, which is jeffersongraham.substack.com. I mentioned all the best places to get prints made.
Oh, that's awesome. And I'm assuming they're local, right? They're in the Bay.
Well, no, they're mail order.
Oh, they're
but-
mail order. I see. Okay.
Yeah, mail order, the old mail order, right? You upload a photo on your computer, and you send it to them, and then they'll mail it back to you.
Well, I mean, look at the image right behind you. You took that picture and you blew it up to be
Yeah,
your background, right?
I think it's 4 feet, and that is an iPhone shot. Yes.
That is really, and that's way better than
that was
fake.
done at FedEx office, which is one of the most underrated places to get stuff done. I got business cards made there yesterday. I don't know if anybody's into doing business cards, but I went to the usual places like Vistaprint, $45. I went somewhere else, and I think it was $45, $40, something like that. And then I just emailed the image to FedEx office, $15, day and date service.
Wow.
It's amazing. Yeah. I sent it to them at 9 a.m, and I picked it up at 4.
So you designed it. You just had them print it, correct?
I designed it in Canva, which is a free program.
Yeah, we use that.
See, okay. So there's a thing in there, you say business card, and then you get their little template, and I think it's 3x2 or something like that. You put in your photo, you put your name at the top, and then you put in your phone number, and I put a picture on the back too. And that's it. And then I downloaded and I sent it to FedEx office. It was that easy.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay. Yeah, because even though I don't hand out business cards, I've wanted to leave them at places like food places that I review, like with the waiter or the waitress, like after the fact. I always thought that would be something fun to be able to do. So
You would be amazed,
amazed.
cards seem like they're from another era, but when you do what we do and you walk into a place and you say, yeah, I have the show on YouTube, and they go, yeah. No, here's the
they're not
card.
listening. Yeah,
Here's the
exactly.
card. It just made it legitimate. I wonder if you could see the card too, because it's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, that's a good idea because there's restaurants I'll go to and I'll have a conversation and then somebody else. Oh, that's really cool.
Do you recognize it?
Isn't that the behind you?
It's the same. It's the same thing. Yeah.
And I'll talk to the people behind it, and then somebody that watches the show will go into the restaurant, mention the show, and they looked at me like, I'm like, well, they probably either weren't paying any attention to the conversation we were having or forgot or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah,
or you say it's the Nikki Medoro Show on YouTube, and they go, yeah, okay,
and
fine. Is that MODERA?
Right. Exactly.
And you say no, and you have the spelling and the URL, and you hand it to them, and I think you should do it.
Jefferson, Lori has a question. Have you seen and what do you think of the Aronofsky sphere? That's the Las Vegas sphere. They're doing this whole image that's projected on there. What do you think of that?
I've seen pictures. It looks fun. It's another fun thing in Las Vegas, and I guess it's time for me to go back. I always like going to Las Vegas in the winter because the desert is at its best.
Apparently, it's losing money though.
The sphere?
The sphere is losing money.
Surprise.
Right. Yeah. But again, it's also new. So I was listening to some financial report about it. They're like, yeah, it's a little early to be judging the finances on the sphere. It looks really cool. YouTube does a show. The Aronofsky thing is there as well. And then I think I saw a headline that Harry Styles might be another performer at the sphere. Now, if that happened, I might have to go back to Vegas.
Let me bring up a subject that's off subject, but I know you guys are up for this because a lot has been made in the news cycle about the poll that the New York Times ran about Biden a year before he's actually running and campaigning, that he's sure to lose, blah, 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 blah. You've heard all that politically, whatever you think. I just looked up a number because I think the polls are not worth the paper they're written on, which of course they're not written on paper, but they're worthless. They're totally worthless. And for anybody to be paying attention to them at this point is downright silly. But then I looked up, I wanted to read the article about, well, who did they call? And how many people did they call? And who answers the phone? Have you guys ever picked up the phone?
Never.
Hey, this is the New York Times calling. Who do you prefer? No, it's never happened.
I always find a way to get out of it. Yeah.
Okay.
I never answer any phone call that I don't recognize the number.
So they didn't really specify much except to say they interviewed 600 representative people, 600 representative people in each state. Okay. So how many people live in Arizona? 7.2 million. So they interviewed 600 people out of 7.2 million to tell you which way an election is going to go a year from now. And you know the numbers, the states, it's 10 million, 8 million, 13 million, it's all over the place.
Right.
And they interviewed 600 people in each state. Is that enough to make an educated decision based on what people are saying?
No, of course not. Of course not. But they don't care. I mean, again, there's like this mathematical formula that they always use on why the polls. I said this yesterday, I think, Jefferson. I don't believe any polls after the whole Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump. I don't. You could poll God himself. I won't believe it until after election day of what's going to happen, because who cares what the polls say? People can say whatever they want to in the polls. It's what they do in the ballot box. So that's all I care about.
I do think it's more valid if you're going to do a poll a month before the election, 2 months before the election, even the summer before the election, but not. I mean, 600 people out of 7.2 million is a crock.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. Can I also ask you?
Yes.
About some photography mistakes that people might be wanting to avoid? As I know this is the time of year when people try to take pictures on their own. So.
Yes.
What kind of tips do you have?
I think next week we'll do tips for family portraits and Thanksgiving.
I want to do that.
But today, on Saturday, I will be debuting the latest episode of Photowalks TV, the 6 photography mistakes I wish I had known when I started. And I sent Kim 2 photos via email. Did she get them? I was hoping she could show them.
Hold on, did you send them only to Kim? You didn't send them to me?
I sent, because you were busy talking to me, and I thought it'd be hard for you to open up your email. Did Kim
am a multifaceted person.
I see. They have you in them, right?
Yes. Okay. So Kim's going to show them. So the biggest mistake is taking pictures in the wrong place during the day. Most people like to take pictures between, let's say, 11 and 3. And that is the worst time. We look awful. And I have a before and after shot here to show you. And Kim, you want to start with the one that's terrible?
Is that the far away one? I don't think it's terrible.
Oh, it's terrible.
Your idea of terrible and my idea of terrible are different.
Well, let's see. Look at my eyes. Look at the shadow all over my face. I only have one. That is shooting in direct sunlight. The hat probably makes it worse, but I still think the shadow, my nose has been enlarged about 25 times. Now, all I had to do, now in this shot, I just moved just a little bit, and there I'm in the shade. Now, Kim, which one do you prefer?
No, this one.
Yeah, all I did was move.
I do like the detail of the harbor behind you and that cool wall. I don't know if that's gum or trash or what.
It looks like locks.
Locks, yes. Or laxes. Yeah.
I like the detail, but I can see that if you were looking for a picture of yourself that you wanted to make yourself look good, then this would be the one.
Yeah, that's a much better picture. And also I feel like if you took the hat off in the other picture because it created a shadow on your face, you'd just be squinting and your eyes would be closed.
I did move a little bit in that shot where we could get a good compromise, and I'd go run over there right now to show you, but I don't have it.
I like it though. That's a really great picture of you, Jefferson. You should put that on your business code too. Look at that.
There's the sphere.
Really cool. I mean, I just want to go see it. The things they project on it are really cool. They had like the eyeball. They've had all sorts of fun things.
Now, these are some
There
nice
you go.
drone,
Yeah.
some nice drone shots in a city where flying the drone is pretty much illegal. But I guess if you work for the tourism people, you get to fly your drone.
Yeah.
If you don't have a drone and you want to get a great shot of the strip, the parking garages are fantastic. And the best parking garage is at the old Mirage Hotel. And just go to the top and you'll look out at the entire strip. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I
Now
mean,
I do.
The last time I went to Vegas, I didn't really. We stayed at the Caesar, and then we went to see Absinthe, the show Absinthe. We didn't do a lot. We kind of had a plan, but I haven't been to Vegas since then. So I like Vegas though. It's nice.
I prefer the casinos that are non-smoking, and Caesar's Palace is too much smoke for me.
Oh yeah, so there's a lot of smoke.
Yeah, because we don't want to do anything to stop the gamblers from putting money down.
No, of course not. Why would we want to stop people from making ill-gotten gains? Jefferson
But if they went non-smoking, they would still come there anyway. That's my belief.
Well, that's true. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. So then next week we're going to talk about family photos,
family portraits for Thanksgiving. And
I just want to tease a little bit more. Like, are you talking about how to choose a photographer like your professional self, or taking our own family photographers? I cannot wait because I have zero time to take. Well, we went to Hawaii and we took a family photo, and so I was like, that could just be our Christmas card. But I'd love to take an updated one. So I'm excited about that.
I like the non-posed pictures.
That's exactly right. Like, how do you take candids and you're all in it?
We'll answer all those questions next week.
That's next week.
During my San Francisco visit, I'd be more than happy to come down to San Jose and get a nice family shot
you have
of
to tell
guys.
me when you're up, and I'll see if I can make it work. How about that?
Okay,
Because I know that you're farther away than I am.
I'm ready to drive on the Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend, which means I'd be there the week after. How's that?
The whole week after you'd be here?
Several days, yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, yeah, because I'm going to have family through Sunday, but we'll see after that.
And Petaluma, I want to do a photo walk with the one and only Kim McAllister.
What?
That would be so much fun. There you go.
So I'd have to start thinking of cool places in Petaluma.
I think there's a lot of them.
Yeah, we have alleys and like murals on buildings that are cool.
That's really awesome. Okay, good. Well, we'll figure it out because I really want to do that, and hopefully Mother Nature also. Although that's another question. Like, what if Mother Nature's not cooperating, Jefferson, but you have to take pictures that day?
You mean for the Thanksgiving?
Well, yeah, if it's raining, you know what I mean? Like,
there's inside. Everybody's inside having dinner. I think it's fine.
Okay. Well, that's all coming up in the next episode of Photowalks TV. This Saturday, you're going to be doing more with the time lapse. Huh?
Mistakes. The time lapse
is already up
today because it debuted on the Nikki Medoro Show.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Yes. So the time lapse is out officially, and then we're going to talk photography mistakes this Saturday. Jefferson Graham, Photowalks TV. The link is in the about section of this show. And Jefferson, I can't wait until next week when we talk about family portraits.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I need updated family photos. I'm telling you. Yeah. But I just honestly getting everybody together and then the high cost of, and then, I'm not knocking it. I mean, it's somebody's profession, but God, it's just, I need to take updated photos. When's the last time you took family photos, Kim?
It's been a while. Jacob was a baby. We're due an update. Mm-hmm.
Wow, it has been a while for you. Okay, I know that I am glitchy. So I'm Kim's gonna do some headlines. Nope. I'm going to reboot my computer. Hopefully I won't be as glitchy when I come back. Click the thumbs up button as well to show your support for our show. And of course, with Jefferson Graham, make sure you guys check out Photowalks TV too, because
I don't think
it's
you
an
sound
amazing
that glitchy.
place. I feel
just to let you know.
Well, I'm getting all my little alerts that I am. So.
Oh, you did freeze for just half a second there.
I've been freezing. I know. Mm-hmm. I will fix it. Okay, so let's do some headlines, and then we'll come back with more news and nonsense from me right after this.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
Well, President Biden says that Israel has agreed to a daily 4-hour pause in the fighting against Hamas in Gaza. 2 humanitarian corridors will be established in the Gaza Strip, and the pauses will allow people in northern Gaza to head south and head away from the fighting. The President Biden told reporters outside the White House a full ceasefire just is not going to happen at this time. He says he's optimistic, though, about the hostages being held by Hamas possibly being freed. The Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, APEC, takes place next week in San Francisco. That means stay away from the city. It's just not going to be worth driving there at all. President Biden is expected to attend and meet with the president of China. There will be a lot of dignitaries at this event. President Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping will reportedly hold talks outside of the scheduled meetings. The 2 leaders last met nearly a year ago during the G20 summit in Bali. Defense attorneys presenting their case today in the civil fraud trial against former President Trump. New York Attorney General Letitia James rested her case Wednesday after testimony from Trump's daughter Ivanka. She testified she wasn't involved in putting financial statements together, but emails reveal her acknowledging them. The latest going on there is that Donald Trump's lawyer is being mocked on social media. Apparently, she objected to her own document being used in court. Alina Habba, Trump's lead defense attorney, taking issue with a document her own team entered when Ivanka Trump testified as a witness on Wednesday. Wait a minute, you presented it. You can't object to it if you made it. Yeah, the internet's going crazy over that one. It turns out that there is a sense of deja vu in Congress over a potential government shutdown looming once again. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is urging newly elected House Speaker Mike Johnson to avoid a hard-right poison pill that has no support from Democrats. The House and Senate just over a week to agree on a spending measure to keep federal agencies open after November 17th. So here we go again with this. 2 Las Vegas hotel groups down and 1 to go to avoid a strike. The Culinary Workers and Bartenders Union reached a deal with MGM Resorts International just 1 day after reaching a similar deal with Caesars Entertainment. Negotiations are taking place today with Wynn Resorts to avoid a strike that would start on Friday. So, welcome
Don't
back.
have all the casinos striking. People need to lose their money very quickly.
People need to lose their money and go on vacation.
Have you gone to Vegas anytime recently?
Not recently, but I've been there.
Do you like to gamble?
I wish I could tell you no.
What do you like? The slots or the tables?
I like both. I like I like a dollar slot machine, and I like a blackjack table.
Yeah. I lose my ass at the blackjack table, though.
I just don't go because I can't afford to lose money, so I tend to not go there.
It's like if you need to be able to lose the money. Yeah.
I'll put money in, and I just don't. I wouldn't say I have a gambling problem, but I think I could. Do you know what I mean? So I just choose not to go.
I'm not saying I have a gambling problem, but it's really enticing to me.
It hasn't risen to that level, but I feel like when I go in there and I like start pulling the slot machine and you start like just blindly pulling it and you realize what the hell am I doing?
Right.
Then I'm like, maybe I just need to chill. It's
Yeah,
like when
exactly.
you've eaten too much chocolate and you start feeling a little sick. You got a problem. So
Yeah.
that's why I just don't go.
You don't even want to tempt yourself.
Oh, my husband's yelling at me. We have something called a Tahoe promise in my house.
What's that?
Kind of embarrassing to tell you, actually.
Oh, no.
The Tahoe promise is when I promise that I will only spend the certain amount of money that's in my hand. Right?
Okay.
And then my husband turns around and I go back to the ATM.
Kim McAllister.
Tahoe promise. You see, this is why I just don't. And so like.
Oh, you're bad.
I just don't. So I don't go. Like, but I go sometimes, and I wouldn't say I'm a gambling addict or anything.
Degenerate.
But I think I could have been if I allowed myself to be. You know what I mean?
OCB, I don't have a gambling problem. I have a losing problem. Yeah, I'm fine if I'm winning. You know what I always promise myself? I'm like, okay, so this is the amount of money I'm going to gamble with.
Right.
And when this stack is gone, no matter what I've won, so I'll take my winnings, because, now with the slot machines, they give you the tickets for your winnings.
Right.
So if you just put those in your back pocket kind of thing, it's not. But then you just keep going. You just keep going until it's all gone. And
I don't like that feeling. And it's funny. My husband will usually sit near me because he doesn't gamble.
Okay.
So he'll sit near me. And then if I win, he'll take it and then he'll give me some back.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So he's your accountability partner?
He's my covenant eyes. So he'll take some, and then at the end, I feel like I've lost because everything is gone in my tray or in my account or whatever. And he's like, "You just made $300. That's awesome."
But how much did you spend? There is a math.
Yeah.
There is an equation that we have to do.
I don't know. I feel like have you ever had that sick feeling where you had, won hundreds of dollars and then you put it all back?
Yeah. That's how they get you.
It feels like,
house wins.
I feel so stupid and so wrong.
Yep.
And that, I try to remember that feeling. It makes me not want to gamble.
Yeah. Well, that's why when I was saying the last time when we went for our anniversary a couple of years ago, I made sure that we had things planned. So I got us a cabana at the pool, right? I spent the money that I probably would have lost in 20 minutes at the table on getting a cabana at the pool. Then we got tickets to a show. We had dinner reservations at, who was it? Tom Colicchio's restaurant.
Oh.
So all the money that we would have lost very quickly, we used it as experiences because I wanted to go to Vegas and have a good time, but I didn't want to just waste it all at the tables, which we told. And now we did do a couple of, slot machines on the way in and out, but we did not sit down for hours and do any of that.
I think that's the way to do it.
You have to.
And I've read books, Spencer Christian had a gambling addiction.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've read books and I feel like I am aware enough that I'm not going to let myself fall into that. But there was a time when I was making Tahoe promises that I felt like I could have. And so anyway, do I like to gamble? Probably a little more than I ought to. Yes. Marilyn, we just bought an old refurbished 25-cent machine. Great fun. No pressure. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, and the penny slots, I know people play the penny slots. And that's fun because it's like, if you lost 100 cents, you lost $1, right?
Yeah.
But the problem with those machines is you have to play all the options to get the big payout, right?
It's too confusing for me.
Yeah.
I like the simplicity of a dollar machine. I put one in, I know exactly what's coming out.
But you have to do max bet if you want to win that total jackpot. And that's a couple bucks. On the penny slots, you can play all of them and it's not that much. So,
Yeah. Okay. Away from my horrible issues.
Addiction.
California's largest healthcare provider and its healthcare workers are agreeing to a multi-year contract now. Kaiser Permanente and the unions representing 85,000 workers nationwide are finalizing a 4-year deal. The pact was overwhelmingly approved by employees in 6 other states, the District of Columbia as well. Union heads say this is more than just a contract. They say the agreement signals what they call a new day for frontline healthcare workers and patient safety. It includes a 21% pay raise, 21% retroactive to October 1st. In a statement, Kaiser says the agreement also addresses other top priorities like staffing, additional opportunities for employment education, and career development as well.
Interesting.
So Speaking of health issues, there's a girl, a teenager, that is alive after surviving a freak accident thanks to first responders, including the girl's father. Emma Johnson was driving to her high school in Grass Valley, California, when a deer hit by another car sent it right through Emma's windshield. This is the deer hit by another car that comes sailing right through her windshield. It hit with such force that it broke her neck and her back, going through the front windshield and exiting out the back windshield. Emma's father, Tim Johnson, a paramedic and firefighter, got the call. He arrived to discover his daughter seriously injured. Emma has had 12 surgeries on her face alone, is still in the hospital. The community has started a GoFundMe page with medical bills to help pay that for her. But yeah, she survived it. She's still trying to fight back from it.
Wow, that is crazy. Yeah, no, I cannot imagine. I always think about deer when I'm driving home from San Francisco on 280 because I always see, sadly, you see often a lot of deer on the side of the road that have been hit by cars. It can be deadly. Absolutely. That's crazy. Thank God she's okay, though, or going to be okay.
I hope so. The largest blue diamond to hit the auction block is being sold. It sold for more than $44 million at Christie's auction house. They thought it would go for more than 50 million. So that's a little low, the blue diamond. It's more than 17 karat. Its name is Blue Royal.
What are you supposed to do with something like that?
It's now the most expensive jewel sold at auction this year. It had been part of a private collection for 50 years. It will now be handed over to another collection. Well, right now it's in a ring.
But what do you do? You're not going to wear it.
You're going to wear your $44 million ring?
No. You're going to put it in a box somewhere and then
this
you have
is a symbol of my excess.
No, what you'll probably do is you'll make a dupe of it, right? So you have a fake one. They're like, oh, look. And so it doesn't get sold. And the other one's going to be hidden in a box somewhere. I'm telling you, it's a scam. Diamonds are a scam. And I have a wedding ring that has a diamond on it. It's a scam. Go get those lab created diamonds. Nobody cares. Nobody cares at all. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. There's like, I'll wear the hell out of it. No. And I don't have large hands. So, I always said, I'm like, I don't need a big diamond because my hands aren't that big. I can imagine if you did, like if you're Shaquille O'Neal, you need a gigantic diamond or everything looks small. But again, the lab grown diamonds, fraction of the cost and look exactly the same. I don't understand the whole obsession that we have with diamonds at all.
Let's, end the newscast with a story about a man who took money that wasn't his.
Okay.
It's not your money. A bank employee is in jail after allegedly stealing money to purchase his dream car.
Oh, okay.
You should steal the car instead of the money. I don't know.
Thank you.
Joseph Herring Jr. was employed as an IT tech at the City of Memphis Employees Credit Union.
Okay.
The manager of the Oak Haven branch noticed $72,000 missing from the vault back in August. I'll just help myself. A bank audit determined Herring was in the bank at the time of the loss. He claims he won the money at a casino. Speaking of big money.
Right.
However, he did not win enough to cover the cost of that car. Herring has been charged with felony theft of property and is expected to bond out. The dream car was a 2024 Volvo S60.
That's random.
That's your dream car?
I mean, a car, I don't know, a Volvo, what is it, a Volvo 360?
S60.
S60.
2024 Volvo S60.
Oh, it does. It kind of looks like a sports car-y type of thing. I still don't think that it's worth going to prison for.
Can you imagine seeing the money in the vault and thinking, I'd really want to have that Volvo S60. I just need it.
Well, this one, I'm looking on dgdg.com in Stevens Creek in Santa Clara. You can get a 2000, and I know it's not a brand new one, but this is a 2019 S60 T6 inscription, whatever the hell that is, for $26,000.
Well, it's not the new one, so
whatever. I swear to God, people and their, I don't know.
Look,
Beth says it's not back to the diamond. It's not the diamond itself. The beauty of how it sparkles and breaks up light is what makes a faceted diamond special. Not for 40 million, however expensive it was. No. Look, shiny things. No, I'm not.
No.
I'm way too cheap. I'm way too cheap.
Okay, I have a picture of this car.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the car that
Maybe
the
it's just
person
like,
that-
is it in a movie? Is there some sort of hype surrounding this car? I mean, I can't imagine. Okay. I mean,
it's a nice car.
It's a nice car. But again, I'm not into cars. So if I was into cars, maybe this matters to me. Maybe I'm like, oh my God, you got one of those. But no, not to risk going to prison over. Are you hit? No way. Are you high? No.
And how do you see the money back in the vault and you think that no one's going to see? No one's going to realize that you've.
Well, they're like, there's so much of it. There's so much money. How are they ever going to notice this little itty bitty? Because I mean, a stack of $100,000 stack is not that big. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it is, but it's not. You know what I mean? You could just take it.
And that's what he's chosen to use the stolen money, as you say, the ill-gotten gains.
The ill-gotten gains, yeah, exactly. The most boring car heist ever. I just paid with stolen cash. So yeah, no, don't go to prison over a car, dumbasses. Just don't do that. That's not a very good idea at all. No.
This report is crowdfunded, which means it's sponsored by you.
We don't steal your money. We just ask for it.
We just ask very nicely. You can find us at theNikkiMedoroShow.com, theNikkiMedoroShow.com. I can tell you that neither of us are buying the Volvo S60. So there you go. Again, theNikkiMedoroShow.com, and thank you for checking it out. I'm Kim McAllister on The Nikki Medoro Show.
Yes, indeed. And I think Harry was asking about the pins. He must have missed my update. The pins are coming. Just real quickly, I'm not going to beat a dead horse with it. The shipping is astronomical for something so tiny. So I'm figuring something out, and I'm going to do a experiment, and I will keep you posted, Ricky, Harry, and so many others that want a pin. I will get you your pins. I promise. I just have to figure out a way that makes sense, because what I was being told does not make sense to me at all. Okay. We have a couple stories. I had teased this yesterday. Now, you know me, guys. I could be a bit of a Luddite with some things and other things I am not. Robots, drones, AI. I only think that they work in certain aspects. I do not think that drone deliveries are necessary. But there is one headline that I was like, you know what? I think that would kind of be cool. Nobody's life is put at risk. I don't think I'm going to get robbed or my package is going to get robbed because of it. There is something called auto fuel. Have you heard about this? Auto fuel, where a robot pumps your gas for you. Now, you have to have it set up, but once it's set up, I can see,
like
when
a
it's
humanoid
cold.
robot?
Well, no, it's just like a robot. Like kind of like a conveyor. I imagine it being like car companies, when they build their cars, they have the robot arms, that kind of do certain things. This robot, it's part of an auto fuel system. And this is how it works. So you sign up, you put your car details in, such as make, model, license plate, what kind of fuel the car uses, and then, of course, your payment details. Okay. You also need a special gas tank cap for your car that obviously works with it. That's not that big of a bar. Okay. But some new cars already have it. So it's already being installed in some cars. Now, the cap has a sensor that communicates with the robot and allows it to open and close your fuel door. So I'm going to show you this really quickly. Let me see. Do I have a video on it?
Weird.
You think, okay, so this is the reason why I like this idea.
Okay.
It solves a problem that's not too big of a problem that I need to go all the way to a robot for, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it's rainy and cold and windy, or it's nighttime and I don't want to get out of my car by myself, I could pull up. This robot opens the door and takes care of it. Okay, here, I got the video. Hold on, let me bring this up for you, because I think this is kind of cool. I know Kim's giving her.
I don't know. I will say in Oregon, it's the law is that you don't pump your own gas.
Yeah, but that's not this. That's not this. Here, watch this. Look at this. Stop. I hate this channel. Here we go.
You put in your car's details.
Look at that.
The make, the model, license plate, and then what kind of fuel you want. You want premium, you want the regular stuff, and your payment details, of course. To make this all come together, you're also going to receive a special gas tank cap to swap out on your car. Now you are ready. You pull into the gas station. The system's going to scan your license plate, recognize your car, say hello to you in its own special way, charge your card automatically, and then you're going to receive parking instructions. When your car is in the right position, the fueling is going to start. And once it's completed, a message will pop up on the screen saying, see you later, it's all good. Then the robotic arm will close the fuel door and the light's going to turn green, and then you're off to the races. Right now, AutoFuel is only available in Finland, but its CEO tells us he's got sites on the U.S., and hopefully it'll be available here soon.
So I think that looks pretty cool. It reminds me also of a car wash, right?
Yeah.
Instead of a person doing it, you pull up, the green light says stop here. You have to fit on the gates, the little great things to keep you straight. And the machine goes around, you washes your car, you pull forward, and you're done. I like it.
Not that I have the nicest car in the world, but how do you know that thing isn't going to scratch up the side of your paint with the...
It had a little suction cup, and that's how it opened and closed your door. It was like a little suction cup. That's not going to damage your car.
And how do you pay? You already have it set up ahead of time that
it's all set up
you have a credit card connected to your license plate or something?
Yeah, so you have to sign up for AutoFuel. You have to have the special gas cap.
So it's
and you
like
have to pay your
fast track at the gas station.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No?
Yeah, I think that could be okay.
Chris makes an excellent point. Anything to eliminate a job, but that's nobody's job but me.
Right.
Like the guy that works the gas station, unless you're in
they already lost their jobs a long time ago. That's, by the way, why it's a law in Oregon, because they don't want those people at the gas station to lose their jobs.
But yeah, I thought that this was true. Randy says the Oregon law changed. Self-serve is now allowed. Remember, they had to have all the directions. Remember, they had to teach people how to pump their gas. I think that happened this year.
Okay.
Yeah, so that law changed. Now, again, Leon, are we that lazy? Yes. I will say this. There are a lot. No, I'm going to say this. I don't feel it is an extreme form of laziness to not pump my own gas, because it's not as if it exerts that much energy.
Right.
Nobody's job is it except mine. I don't like, when it's cold. It's really when it's cold and windy and rainy that I don't like pumping my own gas.
Right.
I could sit in my car. It could do it for me. Who are you interacting with, Aussie, when you're pumping your gas? Who do I don't interact with anybody. If somebody's talking to me,
you try not to talk to the people next door, right?
Although, as a reporter,
away,
if you ever want man on the street, man on the street interviews are the best at the gas station.
Gas stations
it's a
always
audience.
Yes, they have to stand there and pump their gas. So what? They can't say no. I'm too busy to talk to you.
Exactly. I just really feel like if we're gonna move to the robot realm, this I have no problem with. Deliveries. No, I don't need that.
Right.
But a robot arm just going in and pumping my own gas, I think is kind of cool.
So here's the only problem I could think about with that.
Right.
Is that you would then raise a generation of people that don't know how to pump their own gas. So you would have to make sure that you taught people. Like we taught our kids how to pump gas.
Is it really that hard?
Yeah.
She's your auto gas pumper.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know how to do a lot of things because they're automated. Yeah. I mean, it's not as if we...
But I could see a helpless person going to the gas station. Oh, the auto machine is broken and I don't know what to do.
Well, you could have simple instructions. I mean, it's not hard. It's not like the bar of learning how to pump your own gas is so high. It's not like nowadays our cars are like computers on wheels, right? So to do oh Jesus, sorry, I hit the volume on my thing and it scared me. It's not as if I need to learn how to work on my own car.
Right.
Pumping gas, I don't feel like the technology is going to change that much. You take the handle and you stick it in the hole and you press until the numbers start moving. There, you've pumped your own gas. It's not that difficult.
Eric said I had a friend who visited from Oregon a few decades back and she had no idea how to pump gas. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of, it is silly to think about, but I think that at least our generation and the next has seen it happen so much that even if it started to be automated, it's not like we'd forget. It's like riding a bike. I think we would still remember how to do it. Although, I mean, it could also go the way of, stick shifts, even though I know stick shifts still exist, in certain cars. My kid, I want to teach on a stick shift, but that would also require me to own one. And I don't own a stick shift anymore.
Jim says, add it to people not knowing how to change their tires, pump their tires, change their windshield wipers, or any of that.
All of those things. I could, although I haven't, and I don't know if I could do it on my Prius because I don't know if it's different. Forgive me, but I could figure out how to change my own oil, right? I mean, I could figure out how to do that. I know how to add oil. I know how to do those sorts of things. But it's not on technology. It's not technology's fault that we don't know how to do that. It's the desire for people to learn how to do it, right? So don't pay people to do simple things.
I haven't been to a gas station in a long time. I really like having an electric car. I pump electrons at home.
Yeah, I would love it. I got to get PG&E in order, though. That's what has to happen. Okay, one more quick story before the end of the show. In-N-Out Burger. It is expanding. It's making another expansion, this time to New Mexico. It's now going to be on all four corners. That place where it's it's New Mexico, Idaho. What are the four corners? That's what they're saying. They're saying New Mexico is an important milestone to be in all four corners. They've debuted in Tennessee as well. Okay, that's a trivia question. What are the four corners? Is Idaho, Utah?
You want me to answer it? Because I looked it up.
Okay,
so the Four Corners, a region of the southwestern United States, consisting of the southwestern corner of Colorado, the southeastern corner of Utah, the northeastern corner of Arizona, and then the northwestern corner of New Mexico.
There you go. Thank you. I don't know. Idaho's on the other side. So they're expanding there. This is my question. Okay, when I saw this. Does In-N-Out lose a little bit of its luster, not being like that simply West Coast type of burger spot? And I know it's been expanding for a while now.
Yeah.
I liked it when you can only get a certain type of food
in California.
California or in a certain state. It doesn't just have to be California, but oh my God, I have to go to this state to only get White Castle. Or I have to be in this state to have Round Table Pizza. Because Round Table Pizza is not universal. There you go.
That's kind of cool. You're standing in 4 states at once. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, there's that. Randy, In-N-Out, good burgers, lousy fries, hands down, absolutely true. I like when people I have to go to California because I have to get. So my sister that lives in Florida, when she comes out here, she gets Jack in the Box. Because I think they just opened their first Jack in the Box in Florida. But it's one of those things, right? I like the idea of certain chains, especially chains, only being found in certain locations. But now it has expanded into New Mexico, making it so it's in all 4 corners. I don't know, but they have to improve your French fries, man. Yeah, Arizona. Yeah, and they're also in Texas. They went to Tennessee. I don't know. It just kind of loses some of its appeal to me. Again, they make a good burger.
There are people, the first thing they do when they get to California is head straight to an In-N-Out.
Exactly. And that's why I think that it's not a bad thing because it's obviously money, economics, and what have you. But I just think it loses some of the fun aspect of it when you lose the fact that you can only find it in certain locations. So anyways, if you're in that area, if you're in New Mexico, now you can get In-N-Out Burger and their very crappy fries. Yeah, Eric, you're right. You either love them, the fries, or you loathe them. There is no middle ground. They're so gross. They're so gross. They're no good whatsoever. All right, that is our show. I will be back tomorrow. Stay here for Mark Thompson with Kim McAllister and, of course, the after party with Kim and John Daly. Let me give some thank yous. Marilyn for a $5 super sticker. Doug with a $5 super sticker. Vicky with a $5 super sticker. Rod coming in with a $20 donation to our super chat, and Harry with a great show and a $5 donation. You guys are great.
You guys.
You make this show happen. Literally, we are 100% crowdfunded. Please consider, if you have not already, becoming a Medorable, a monthly Patreon subscriber. Go to thenikkimedoroshow.com. Sign up, please, and make sure you subscribed. You hit the bell so you don't miss a moment. And tell your family and friends. If you want to PayPal us, the email is thenikkimedoroshow@gmail.com. We do take donations there, and we really appreciate any amount that you guys can donate because we love you and we depend on you, and that's what has to happen. All right. Tomorrow is Thursday. Maybe I'll do something.
Tomorrow's Friday. Today's Thursday.
Today is Thursday.
Right? Am I getting that wrong? No, I think
today
I'm right.
Thursday?
Today's Thursday.
Okay, so
welcome
I'll
to it.
On.
Thank you, Grady, for the last minute fiver. Yeah.
Lost my mind. Oh, you know why I keep thinking it? It's because today is my kids' Friday. I have my days all wrong because all the kids are off tomorrow for Veterans Day. So, of course, we will be marking Veterans Day and thanking all of the veterans in our lives. Tim Sika will join us. If you have a Friday food segment that you want me to do, tell me now because, geez Louise, I know tomorrow's Friday. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'll try to figure something out to eat or drink for tomorrow as well, but send me your ideas. I love you guys. Talk to you tomorrow, which is
Heather,
Friday.
one last minute thank you.
Oh, yay.
This is coming out of my Diamond and Volvo fund. Use it wisely.
Love you, Heather.
That's
Only
so funny.
diamonds were $5. Love you guys. Thank you, Heather, so
Bye.
much.
You guys
Talk
are
tomorrow.
awesome.
Bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're sprout like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.